Hey guys, welcome to Rihanna's Lens, where I interact with you about the components in the STEM field and introduce you to fascinating people who passionately inhabit the scientific and technical frontiers of our society. My name is Rihanna Malhotra, and I'm absolutely elated to share this podcast with all of you. On this episode, I'm joined by a few students that are currently STEM learners at high school and have huge ambitions for the future. I'm so glad to welcome and introduce Tasneem Ali, Tia Rane, and Rudresh Prabhakaran. Hi guys, how are you?
Fine, I'm quite nervous.
Great.
Well, that's good to hear. So let's start this discussion. As all of you know, that STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and maths, and it's slowly progressing and it's becoming one of the largest and most important fields. Without any further ado, let's begin with this discussion. And so, Tasneem, can you begin and to introduce yourself and describe the profession that you want to get into?
Yeah, sure. So, hi everybody. My name is Tasneem, and I'm actually doing A-level science in high school. And as to what profession I want to pursue, there's been quite a lot of conflicts throughout my life, but I'm fairly certain now that after 12, I want to do MBBS and therefore become a doctor.
That's awesome. What about you, Rudresh?
For me, I'm in high school as well, and I've always liked planes and racing. So I figured I'm going to go into aeronautics to become an aeronautical engineer.
Yeah, that's honestly such a fascinating field. What about you, Tia? What are you interested in?
So obviously biology because it's my favorite subject, and yes, I would love to become a biologist. And I haven't thought of what I would like to specialize in because I think every single concept in biology is interesting. So a bit confused about that, but yes, biologist is my main thing.
Yeah, I think I can relate to you because even I want to get into some field of medicine as long with as technology. So because of the simple fact that our body is so vast and there's so many elements and there's so much more to explore to it. And also it's one field that I think would never get redundant. At least I hope it wouldn't. I hope we don't have robots doing our surgeries anytime soon. Okay, moving on. Why did you get interested in getting into the STEM field? Like, what made you motivated to get in this field? Rudresh, you can go forward.
Okay. Firstly, STEM is the future, right? The innovations made in the industry of STEM, they're driving our daily lives right now. If it weren't for the industry expanding into different forms of technology, advancements in healthcare, transportation, we wouldn't be living the lives we're living right now. So that gave me, it gave me this incentive of unlimited potential that's there in the industry. And, it's just there for me to tap into as far as I'm willing to put in the effort. And also the value that people are giving to degrees in the STEM industry, it's crazy really how valued my work would be if I put in if I put in 10, 11 years, get a PhD done. And yeah, the industry is ever growing. It's great for business, great for innovation, and it's defining the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Tasneem, what about you? What are your views?
So, as it was mentioned earlier, it's huge. The STEM fields are huge. It's actually that's what attracted me to STEM field subjects. I'm actually really fascinated about the depth of it. So while I'm learning new topics in school or some like other workshops or something, I just am awed by how much there is to it. And still, we are just learning a fraction of what actually exists around us every day and what is happening around us. Now, in science, again, specifically, the human body has hooked the complexity, the precision, and the presence of all the tiny structures that are there, which, if are not present, can lead to a major malfunctioning of the body. So yeah, that is what attracts me a lot.
Yeah, of course, of course. What about you, Tia?
I think, as Rudresh said, STEM is the future, and there's so much to explore. I think every day when I read anything about STEM fields, there's something new. There's just so much to explore. There are new innovations every single day. So maybe that's why. And I love learning new things. I love to explore. So that's why.
Yeah, I agree with all of you. Ever since I was a kid, I was always interested in the STEM fields. And like Rudresh and all of you said, that it is going to be our future. Who knows, one day we'd be just standing amongst our inventions that we make. And also that ever since I was a kid, as I was saying before, I've been surrounded with people in STEM, as almost everyone in my family is part of the STEM field. So I think I'm proud to be part of that society. And I'm not sure if you guys have heard about the TV series X Files. It's pretty old. I used to watch it when I was like 7 or 8. Even though it's not animated, I was still very interested in it because there's this character. Her name was Scully. She was a medicine professional, and I never really saw at that time, at least, I never really saw women in STEM. Or like I used to watch the shows Phineas and Ferb. It's animated, but it always showed men in STEM and all of that. So she really fascinated me. She was a medical doctor, and yeah, that's really what motivated me to get into STEM. So moving on, what do you think are the skills and strengths that a person should have in order to get into STEM? Tia?
I don't think anyone needs a particular skill. I mean, yeah, basics are obviously important in science, technology, maths, and engineering. But I think you should love the STEM fields. I think you should love what you're doing. And if you're someone who loves to explore and who loves learning new things, so, and if you have the willpower to actually, take up those challenges, because it's not easy. It's not like you start reading, it's very difficult. So I think if you can do it, if you have the motivation, it's very easy. No particular skill.
Yes, of course. What about you, Rudresh? Do you have any opinion?
Yeah, I think firstly I agree with what Tia said. STEM, in the end of the day, when the dust settles, it's just another industry that we're going to. And for any industry, you need to have a passion for it. You need to have that inner drive. If we don't have that, we can't maximize our potential, right? And following up with that, I'd say one must know what he or she is doing. Obviously, we're not too qualified ourselves to speak about it, but it's common sense to know that this is the direction I'm heading with. And yeah, coming to my third point, you should have a plan or a structure of the road ahead. More importantly, I need to know where I'm going with what I'm doing. Otherwise, there'd be no point of it. And I think most importantly, one needs to master the ability of critical thinking, because STEM, it's been redefining and solving modern day issues, and critical thinking is, I think, of utmost importance.
Yeah, I completely agree with what you and Tia said. You should love what you're doing. Otherwise, you will just end up being bored about the path that you're going, and you should have a clear sense in your mind. What about you, Tasneem? Anything else to add?
Yeah, I think that being curious is one of the qualities that we should have, because we should be asking questions, and that also helps us to be persistent and helps us keep going through it, because we know that the STEM fields can be quite taxing. So you need to be highly motivated to keep going, and curiosity for one can help you with the journey. It can actually help you love the topic what you're doing and love what you're doing every day. So that just takes it to another.
Yes, absolutely. So I completely agree with all of you guys. I also think that people in STEM should be able to work as a team and to be able to communicate, because it requires a lot of analytical thinking and logical thinking as well in order to solve problems. Because I think eventually, when we get into our fields, we will be thrown with a lot of problems in our path. So I think that's really important to be able to solve pieces of puzzles and being able to accomplish an entire puzzle. So is there anyone you looked up to that is in the STEM field? The person can be alive or dead, or anyone in your family.
I don't think I've looked up to anyone, but I think all the doctors and scientists are working so hard in these COVID times. I think that during these COVID times, they were such a big inspiration for me because all day and night they were working, and it was a very difficult time for them just to keep us safe. So I think everybody should look up to them and learn something from them. And obviously, all the great scientists, I mean, because of them, we have such amazing theories and we're learning science because of them. So, not anyone in particular.
Yeah, absolutely. During this pandemic, doctors and nurses had to work tirelessly in hospitals. They couldn't even go home. So I really respect them for that. It's a really tiring job, but that's what's helping us get through this pandemic. What about you, Tasneem?
Yeah, so there's actually a couple whom I look forward to. So it's my cousin. She's actually doing her postgraduate in engineering in Chicago right now. Before that, she completed her undergraduate in Pune. So she's actually really passionate about what she does. Whenever you ask her about engineering, she goes into deep talks about machines and all. So that's what I really look forward to. That's how I want to enjoy and do my profession, as that's how I want to become a doctor and actually be very interested in it. And there's also my aunt. She's doing her diploma in ophthalmology. And like me, she's very passionate about medicine. She's actually doing it right now in one of the big institutes in India. So yeah, I actually look forward to her perseverance, how she has been through all those hard times, her low times, but she has still achieved many great things and heights.
Yeah, I think it's so cool that you have people in your family that you can look up to itself.
Yeah.
What about you, Rudresh? Do you have anyone you can look up to?
Yeah, there's two people that I look up to extensively. The first one being my brother. He's the CEO and co-founder of Dineout, and the reason why is because I saw how he could effortlessly implement technology into the F&B industry, and that in a way showed me that the limitless opportunities STEM provides once you get a hold of it, once you harness that power. And secondly, I think I looked up to Elon Musk. Definitely, especially in the recent years, he's proved to be, great icon to the world. His dedication and commitment, like, and how his his work in the STEM industry, it's transforming the world. Right? Obviously, we all know about Tesla and how autonomous driving and just electric cars in general, everybody saw it coming, but nobody saw it in the time frame that he's done it in. And now all the greats such as Mercedes, Audi, BMW, they're all falling in line. So he's really taking this step out there. And also, speaking of out there, SpaceX, right? Taking the challenges of outer space, landing on Mars, taking human flight, the logistics of going to space, commercial space time. It's all amazing what he's been able to do with technology. And yeah, as I spoke about before, he's mastered critical thinking, in my opinion. He's mastered his skills, and arguably, he's creating the foundation of the future.
Yeah, absolutely. The amount of technological advancement that we have done in these last years, it's insane. Like as you said, in the time frame that he accomplished the autonomous cars, that's just insane. So yeah, that's really cool. I personally look up to Rebecca Cole. I'm not sure if you've heard about her, but she completed her medicine course in 1867, and that's so long ago. During the time, there was a lot of racial conflicts as well as gender discrimination. And throughout that time, she still went ahead and accomplished her dreams. So why can't we? We're in the 21st century and we still face um, gender bias or racial conflicts, as you might have heard. So I think we can do it too if she could back in 1867. So, what do you guys think about the racial issues and the gender disparities that we are facing these days? Rudresh?
Um, Yeah, it's as we all know with the recent events that have been going on in the world, it exists in every part of society, and it does not discriminate between one profession or gender. It's pretty much out there. It's evident, and I think it's plaguing society really. It's a really bad thing. It's a shame that we have such problems as we claim to be modern world, developed world, and yeah, it's depriving the industry from talent. If I were to talk about STEM, right, as you mentioned, Dr. Cole, in those hard times getting into the industry, but she was one of the luck. She was the ones who could fight that off, right? Many people couldn't, and that talent and that skills that could potentially change the world, they're not getting a chance to show themselves up. And this, of course, has to stop because we're eating up on people's careers, their talents, and yeah, we're not really progressing. We are progressing as a world, but not at our full potential because some of the people that could potentially change the way we live, they're not getting a chance to show themselves.
Yeah, completely. I completely agree with you. But also now in STEM, if you look at the statistics, there are, around the world there are only 30% women in STEM, and rest all the entire majority is male. So it's something that we really need to work on. It is progressing. More people are getting into this field, but it's still not there yet. What about you, Tasneem?
Yes, of course, I agree that there is a lot of racial conflicts and gender inequality out there, and like there are professions, certain professions like engineering, where there are many male candidates than the female ones. So we usually see that the males in engineering, while there are like less girls who are actually aspiring to become an engineer. That's what I find very difficult. And also, there is a lot of difference in other fields such as computer science. So, this may be because of the stereotypical ways the people perceive such fields, or just because they are ill informed about the available fields out there, how wide the industry is out there. So, these fields are also quite new. I'm not judging, but usually the fields like CA, chartered accountant, engineering, and MBBS are seen as the only professions. However, in science alone, there are many fields, including genetic engineering, biotechnology, biochemical engineering, nanotechnology, microbiology. So these are what the fields the people should actually choose to get in, and we don't exactly know what is going on in this field, so that may cause the gender inequality.
Yeah, that's what's so cool about STEM. There's so many fields that you can get into just inside these that are branched into STEM. So that's what's so spectacular about it. What about you, Tia? Do you have any views?
Some people say that dolls are made for girls and robots are made for boys. And somewhere I can see that in STEM field. As Rudresh said that yes, gender discrimination is in all the industries. But yeah, I think boys are involved in robotics and computer science that more than girls, and there's an extreme wage gap too between boys and girls. So it exists, but hopefully things get better and it's equal.
Yeah, I hope so too. Um, Lastly, why do you think more people should join the STEM fields? Tasneem?
So I think that these fields are recently introduced, and thus, like more people joining these fields can help in further development and can help further achievements in science and technology, and just in overall help the development of our society. So, moreover, the STEM fields are expanding like anything in the 21st century. The opportunities are endless. So you could never end up without a job. The demand is just so high for everybody. It's these new tech, like for example, the companies these days, they employ website designers to get up with the trend of the companies having their attractive websites, and so these demands for website designers is actually quite high. Yeah.
Yeah, completely. What about you, Rudresh?
Yeah, I agree with what Tasneem said. They're growing at an exponential rate, and if I were to back that up statistically, what I got pulled from the internet was that STEM occupations are growing at nearly 25%, whereas other occupations are growing at a fifth of that rate. And that goes to show that how much importance STEM is getting in the world. It's in the headlights. And because it's constantly defining the route of our future. If you look at 10, 20 years ago, where your laptops weren't a thing and nobody could believe that you could fit a device as powerful as a computer in your pocket, STEM did that. And the fruits of the innovations are what we're enjoying now, and it will continue to do so in the future. And furthermore, career wise as well, STEM degree holders, they've proven to have a higher income than non-STEM careers. That's a fact. They've been giving more importance because the skill set that you develop in the STEM industry it's something that companies have started to value now, because they play a key role in the economy. Because as a country, for a sustained growth and stability, you can't rely on others on a technological front. And we know these days technology is of utmost and paramount importance. And STEM is giving every country that it's giving them the ability to have the cutting edge, irrespective of whether you have the resources or not. Because the importance it holds, it's giving countries that previously didn't have a well-known establishment in some fields. STEM is taking that and basically reversing it. So yeah, I think it's amazing what STEM's doing to this world.
Yeah, 100%. What about you, Tia? What do you think?
Because STEM is the future, I think one should take part in the STEM fields. And I think STEM is everywhere, as Rudresh gave the examples of laptops, our phones. STEM is involved everywhere. And I think it's the most interesting field. It's everything is there. There's science, technology. So I think that's the only reason why people should actually look forward to take part in the STEM industry.
Yeah, absolutely. All of you guys were completely correct. Um, Technology and other fields are certainly advancing due to STEM. And just seeing how the world is changing around us is so awesome. Well, that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for coming on. It was so awesome to hear your insights and your views about people in STEM. So, thank you. To let all of you know, this podcast is now available on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Radio Public, Breaker, and Google Podcasts. Make sure you subscribe to all listening platforms and stay tuned for more.